Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to WatchDog Alert Training, how to use Blackboard Connect. For today's training, we're going to be walking through the steps involved with sending a message out through the Blackboard Connect system in the event of an emergency at any of the Navarro College campuses. For today's training, I would encourage you to be sitting at a desk in front of a computer so that you can walk along through the steps as we practice sending a message. So let's get started. The thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to go ahead and log on to Blackboard Connect. This is really simple. The website is www.blackboardconnect.com. At that home page, you should be looking at a page that says Blackboard Connect, and you'll want to go ahead and type in your username, which will be your first dot last name, and then a password that you've created. Now, if you forgot your password or don't know what it is, you can always reset your password right here underneath the sign in button where it says forgot username or password, and you can reset it right there. Once you have your password, the next thing you want to do simply is click sign in. Now, once you click sign in, it'll take you to a page called Behind the Blackboard. Now, this is pretty cool because this is going to show you all the different information concerning the messages that you've sent, recent activities, announcements, and support. So in the middle of the screen, you're going to see something called Monthly Quick Stats. Here, it'll give you a quick rundown of how many messages have been sent, how many people you've reached sending those messages, if you've had any bad numbers, and what the successful deliveries are. Next, you'll see something called Recent Activities directly below that. These are going to be the messages specifically that were sent and who actually sent those messages and when the messages were sent and who was contacted. Next, on the left-hand side of that screen, you'll see something called Support. Here, you'll have Blackboard contact information. So if you need help logging on or resetting passwords, or if you have a question and want to email them, here's their contact information. Next on that page, behind the Blackboard, you'll want to look at something called Activate Safe Mode. It's going to be on the bottom left corner of your page, and it's going to be an orange button. You want to use this only when practicing or during training, and you certainly want to click Activate. Once you do that, your button will actually turn from orange to teal, and then on the very top of the screen, you'll have a green bar that appears. The green bar says Safe Mode Activated. You may want to practice creating and scheduling a message without it being sent. This is going to assure you that you are actually in safe mode, because what we don't want to have happen is that you're not in safe mode and are practicing sending messages and then accidentally send one out to people that could pretty much create a widespread panic that we don't even want to think about. So make sure that you see that green bar across the top and that teal button on the bottom. This will encourage making sure that you're sending out a message in safe mode. Again, still on that Blackboard Connect page, behind the Blackboard, you'll see, and you can hover over where it says Send a Message. This is going to allow you some options. 1, sending an emergency message. 2, sending an outreach message. Or 3, sending out a survey. For our purposes today, we are certainly going to be practicing in this emergency message. Anytime that we have any information that we need to connect with our community or our students about emergencies on campuses, this is where we'll be sending the message from. Now, many times, keep in mind, either Nancy Cheney or Margaret Alfaro will be the ones sending that message. But in the event of something happening on campus, and we never know what could happen at any point, everybody who's a part of the activation team will also have access to Blackboard Connect, logging in and sending that message. And that's why we're training you guys today so that you're familiar with what to do. Okay, so you will select emergency. Always be aware, sending an emergency message will send to all phone numbers and emails in our database. So when you send that message, you're not going to send it to a couple of hundred people. You'll send it to a couple of thousand people, usually around 14,000 actually. Okay. So we can see where that orange emergency button is. Once you do click emergency, it's going to take you to a page that says sending a message. Now, our page across the top, our message bar went from green to now kind of a gold color, but it still says Safe Mode activated. You can practice creating and scheduling a message without it being sent. And they give you an orange button there that says deactivate. So if you would like to deactivate and send a true message, you could certainly do it from that spot right there. If it's a true emergency message needs to be sent, make sure you are not in safe mode. You can deactivate from the gold bar. So just keep that in mind. Okay. And you can see again that orange button that says deactivate. Okay, still on that same page, we're in Message Center, and now we're going to Message Type. Here, right here, you'll see we have the option of a drop-down screen that says Emergency or Outreach Message. Now, we're sending an emergency message, so we certainly want to click on Emergency Message. Okay, once that's in place, we need to give this emergency message a title. Examples include Navarro College Campus Active Shooter, or Navarro College Waxahachie Campus Tornado Warning. You want to be very concise when creating a message or a title for your message. This is a message the title will help us to identify previous messages sent in our log. Okay, next you want to click the To button directly below the title once the title is selected and put in place. And we are going to actually we're going to select who to send this message to. So you first click on the To a pop-up screen. That pop-up screen, you'll see a couple of things. It'll say select by, and of course we want to say contacts. And then on the bottom, we'll see a number. So a small blue and white screen will pop up, and you want to note the number before contacts found. So here it is, contacts found is right here. Is the number of people in the database. Some have multiple phone numbers and emails associated with each contact. So this is each individual phone number, email, any of that stuff is all associated right here. So right now we can see that there's 14,106 contacts found in our database here for Navarro College and Blackboard Connect. See that big arrow right there points directly down to that 14,106. You want to click the small square next to select all, still on that same line. This is going to let us know that once we click that button that all 14,106 people were selected, and those are the people that will be receiving this message. Okay. You will see that number, the 0, change to a number of the contacts selected. This number should be the same as contacts found. So that's a way to kind of double check your work when you're doing this message. Okay, so that 14,106 right there. Next and finally on this little pop-up screen, you want to click the Done page. Next, on the next page, or back to the original page that we were on, sending a message or in the Message Center, the little blue box with the word recipients will appear next to. So this is going to show us that we've loaded all of our recipients into our message to be sent. Okay, so now you want to be aware of the different delivery modes. Each number below the different delivery modes indicates how many contacts were selected for each of the different ways. Now we have phone here, and you can see that 14,103 or have a phone number, 13,880 have an email, 8282 a text message, nothing for pager, nothing for Facebook, nothing for Twitter, and nothing for SMS. Okay. Next, you're working yourself still down the page. You're going to come to something underneath phone called caller ID. It's going to default to the emergency number, which should always be 903-875-7650. Okay, it's very important that we are defaulting to that 7650. Many people will have the Blackboard Connect or WatchDog Alert phone number programmed in their phone already. So by calling and sending messages from this 7650 number, it'll activate on their phone that this is actually an emergency. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and select the delivery options, and we want to select Add Voice. Now, we can tell that we're in the phone number tab. You can see that it's a lighter gray than all these other tabs, and it's the same color gray in the box. So that's showing us that we are actually about to create a phone message to be sent out. By clicking on Add Voice, okay, so you'll have another window, a smaller orange window will pop up, And here we will want to call the number that's listed in the gray box on the right hand of that box, the right hand side of that box. You'll see the number 1-800-901-4956. This number is critical at this point because this is the number that you're going to be calling into that will record the message that you're about to send. Okay, once prompted to do so, you'll enter your user ID, which will be right here. It's always going to be 417698 for Navarro College. And then you want to enter your message ID box number. Message box ID number, and that number for this particular message will be 137-18002. Now, each time that you go in and create a new message, this number does change, so be aware that the enter message box ID number will change each time, but just the user ID number will stay the same. Okay, so from here, this is where you'll actually be selecting your box are selecting your message to be sent, okay? So once you call in to this number and once that message box number ID appears, then you'll be prompted on the phone to send and create your message to prepare to be sent. So you want to keep in mind that you want to speak clearly and slowly, and the message should be very concise, okay? Then you'll click now. Once you've submitted your message, you'll click now at the bottom of the screen, and this will allow you, the user to know that you're going to send this message out immediately. Okay. Now let's click on email. Email, you're going to do basically follow the same sort of pattern that you did for sending a phone message out. You want to make sure to give the subject name. Examples include Navarro College, Corsicana campus, active shooter, or Navarro College, Waxahachie campus, tornado warning. So you'll put your subject information in there, subject name, and then you want to create a message. Now your message, again, needs to be very, very concise. You can see an example message would be something like this. Attention, this is the Navarro College WatchDog alert system. An active shooter is currently on the Corsicana campus. For your safety, be sure you are behind a locked, closed door. A campus emergency has been declared. Relay this information to others in your immediate area. More information to follow. Now that message is concise. It lets listeners know that there is an active shooter on campus. It instructs your listeners to do specific things to protect themselves, and then it's also letting you know that there's going to be other messages following. So just be and stay in a good, secure place. Okay. From there, again, you want to do like you did a minute ago with the phone. You want to make sure that it says now, when to send the message now. This is going to allow us to send the message immediately and to send all the messages out at once. So what you're doing basically is you're going in and you're loading all the messages. You're saying now, and then when we click the done button here in a minute, or the next button here in a minute, we'll be able to shoot all those messages out at once. Next, we're going to be sending a text message. Text messages are similar, same fashion that we've been doing for the phone and emails, both. Your example of a text message needs to be very concise. You'll type it into the white box right here on the screen. The message could say something along the lines of, attention, shooter on the Navarro NC Corsicana campus. Take shelter now and lock doors. Avoid campus. More information to follow. Now, keep in mind, when you're drafting this text message, you only have 300 characters. So you want to use little shortcuts like the number 2 instead of typing out TO, and you want to say maybe NC instead of saying Navarro College. Those are just ways of shortening the campus, or ways of shortening the message. We may want to actually write out Navarro College. This could help to identify who exactly is sending this message. And of course, you'll type it into that white box. Next, you want to make sure that when you're done, and in the same fashion, that you want to click that now button right here next to when, the same fashion that you did for the email and the phone numbers also. This will allow you to make sure that you're loading that message in to be sent all at once with the text messages, phone numbers, and emails that we've loaded in. Okay, so there's that now button. This message will send all 3 messages at once. Okay, now you're ready to click next. There, you'll have a small little pop-up menu that will show you exactly what you're sending. You want to review your message. You want the confirmation to messages being sent out. Note, large number of messages may require you to select a box within this small little pop-up window that appears that will allow you to send the message. This is just a security feature that Blackboard Connect added in to make sure that you are 1,100,000,000% sure that you're ready to send a message out when it's time. You want to note that these screens will not appear in safe mode. So as we're practicing right now, this review your message screen will not appear in safe mode. Okay. Now you want to click the orange send button on the very bottom of the screen. And that's it. Congratulations, you have successfully sent an emergency message through the Blackboard Connect system for Navarro College.